you about COVID-19. Do you ever wonder why the media seems to focus on cases and cases only? Because if people looked into the actual mortality rate and the information behind it, one would spend hours scratching their head in disbelief. On November 15th, it was leaked that only 166 people died outside of long-term care facilities in all of Canada. What you also don't hear is that the average COVID-19 victim had an astonishing 2.6 pre-existing medical conditions. So that means the death count includes people who died of cardiovascular disease, cancer, pneumonia, and influenza. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's a coincidence that the flu is down 98% while COVID numbers rise? You don't need to be a detective to figure out that the numbers are being manipulated. Our hospitals have never been overwhelmed.
Please stay
2.6 pre-existing medical conditions. So that means the death count includes people who died of cardiovascular disease, cancer, pneumonia, and influenza. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's coincidence that the flu is down 98% while COVID numbers rise? You don't need to be a detective to figure out that the numbers are being manipulated. Our hospitals have never been overwhelmed with COVID-19 patients. In fact, out of the 493 hospitals in Ontario, we are averaging less than one COVID-19 patient per hospital. And can you honestly say that you've seen footage of hospitals bursting at the seams? Or do they have us too distracted with just case numbers? Our problem is that we become too wrapped up in fear and propaganda that we lose sight of real facts and real science. Speaking of real science, did you know that the inventor of the PCR test has come out and said, and I quote, "These PCR tests cannot detect free infectious viruses at all." Yet, here we are, using the same tests while pumping out thousands of fake positives on a daily basis. A recent study also confirmed that the test itself gives a 97.7 false positive rate. In fact, it's not even testing for COVID-19, but rather RNA. This is the information your government and media have attempted to keep under the rug. Of course, if you even do get COVID-19, the survival rate is 99.98%. To be clear about one thing, we need to know something necessary, and we don't care if people care or not. Everyone has a right to communicate freedom. When you do it,
Chris? Chris. Aaron. I remember. I recognize you. That's why I asked. Aaron. Yeah. Chris.
Here we are! Oh my God!
police wasn't good enough. They know full well that they can't introduce 3-month lockdowns because of they will never accept it. What they did was give you hope and carry us on the 13th day. This is nothing but pure psychological warfare, and we are the pawns in this sick game. Everyone is saying that it's just better. We will come better than the rest of the
The bubble bus!
Attention, police.
Yes! How's it going, Toronto? Freedom! Freedom is essential! Jack, take the mic so we can talk to these cops on our route.
Police. I accuse Lieutenant Governor Elizabeth Doddswell and Ontario Premier Doug Ford of criminal code violations, namely reckless endangerment of children, child abuse, elder abuse, healthy people abuse, inhumane acts on civilian populations, bodily harm, failing to obey a statute, torture, domestic terrorism, hoax regarding terrorism, and murder. Police, I'm accusing the Lieutenant Governor and Premier of murder. Section 229, Canadian Criminal Code, subsection C. If a person for an unlawful object, which would be these unlawful orders, does anything that they know is likely to cause death, like suicide in a lockdown, and by doing so causes the death of a human being, even if they desire to affect their object without causing death or bodily harm to any human being, does commit murder. Section 229, subsection C. Police, I accuse Lieutenant Governor and Premier of murder. Section 229, subsection C. Police, I accuse the Lieutenant Governor I also accuse Lieutenant Governor Elizabeth Doddswell and Premier Doug Ford of reckless endangerment of children. Section 218 of the Criminal Code. And some members of violent children have caused suicide.
Freedom! Freedom! Freedom!
First of all, keep your mask on. Join us. Every Saturday, Young Dundas Square. Essential. We are all essential.
Raise up!
They're at Young Dundas Square every Saturday.
Why would you take your vaccine when you still have to wear a mask? Doesn't make sense.
You saw the pictures.
The sun!
Come on and talk to us, CB24. We're gonna hold you up for treason. For lying to the
Thank you!
causing domestic terrorism. Come on and talk to us.
Of course, I heard you last week as well. Senior administrator, just get on.
Tell the truth! Tell the truth! Tell the truth! Tell the truth! No more lockdowns! No more lockdowns!
Defund the media! Defund the media! Police need to unite! No, your brothers and sisters! You need to unite! You're being taken over by police! Get your money!
You guys want to work without a mask? Rebel News will
will give you a free lawyer. Stop for just order followers.
Anti-suicides are a direct result. They are accused of committing other NCR because of the suicides have committed murder. Lieutenant Governor Engineer has committed murder. Section 229, Section C, of the Criminal Code. Police lawfully taken to custody of Lieutenant Governor Engineer for murder, suicides, for part of the lockdown. If a person for an unlawful object, which would be the lockdown, does anything that they know is likely to cause death, which would be a lockdown isolation, can cause suicide. And if the social causes the death of a human being, even if the desire to respect the life of the other person's death is also not this constitutes murder. Is section 229, subsection C of the Criminal Code.
Thousands of more people every year. Yet you won't fucking stand next to somebody without a mask. All the stores are closing down, closing down, closing down. All the stores are closing down because you won't comply. Buy your food and close online, close online, close online. Buy your food and close online because you won't comply.
That's a hug. Love.
Murder. Section 229, subsection C.
Rise up, people.
I ask you to lawfully take into custody Lieutenant Governor Elizabeth Bonneville.
Come on, people, time to rise up.
To participate in the Constitution of Elizabeth Bonneville.
Another big outdoor mass banner in the front. As it is about outdoor.
Sorry.
And there are deaths, isolation, and suicide. It is life in prison.
I'm trying to hold down this.
Lawfully taken into custody. Lieutenant Governor Elizabeth Bonneville and Junior John Ford.
We made some people join in with us. We made some people join in.
We're not in Bracket 1, hoax regarding terrorism. Over 30 institutions and offices around the world have been queried through freedom of information requests for records containing proof that the alleged SARS-CoV-2 virus in fact exists. The responses have yielded total no records. Police No workers. Ontario public officials have zero legitimate evidence to support their story of a COVID-19 virus, let alone the COVID-19 pandemic. The virus is unproven and purely theoretical. It has committed fraud on the population. So police, the accused are Ontario Lieutenant Elizabeth
But who are those guys?
Who?
Lieutenant Premier Doug Ford. There is the weapons from Ontario with officers at Queen's Park, 111 Wellesley Street West, 978 181.
This for my 20 bucks.
That's my class.
It's 416 325 7780. The phone number of Premier Doug Ford is 416 325 1941. Numerous criminal code violations were committed by Ontario Lieutenant Governor Elizabeth Boswell and Ontario Premier Doug Ford. Offenses were committed at Queen's Park, Toronto. The offenses were committed on March 17, 2020 and March 30, 2020.
Right, everybody, let's keep this march going! Freedom! 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 Let's dance!
The declaration of emergency was part of the UN and WHO assessed the March training and simulation exercise of a deliberate release of a lethal respiratory pathogen. The Lieutenant Governor and Premier did commit reckless endangerment of children, child abuse, elder abuse, healthy people abuse, inhumane acts on civilian populations, bodily harm, failing to obey a statute, torture, domestic terrorism, hoax regarding terrorism, and murder.
How goes it, Christina? Are you posting this? Do you post? Do you have a website you post on, or?
Yeah, I put it in my Facebook, and right now and this one is gonna go on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah, it's a long one. It's the whole one.
Oh wow. Now, do you have you had any issues with being blocked or getting warnings from YouTube or Facebook? Has that ever happened to you?
No,
Because I was listening to. Oh wow.
I don't my glasses.
I'm hearing some people get blocked and things. I was watching, I think it was on, sometimes I listen to Dave Rubin. He does the Rubin Report. I don't know if you know that. And he's a former liberal, kind of conservative kind of guy. But he has some very interesting people in his program. And he had a kind of a panel expression, and the three people, plus himself, but the three people had various connections to the protests at Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. You know, the one that had the people entering into the Capitol building?
Yeah.
So
that is not clear if it's Antifa. If
Right.
it's Antifa, right? Because the pictures.
There's some of that.
It's
Some of those would be Trump supporters, clearly, I would say.
Yeah, some of them are over there.
And some people, I think some would be like this.
Too
If we,
easy entrance. Too easy.
yeah, like I think the police could have done more. Or even like we're at the Bell building there. You know, if someone went through, then if you're all out there, then you might just go in for the sake of it. So it's not good, some of the stuff that went on. So these could, but I think it's complex. Why do they allow it? But nonetheless,
Yeah.
what was interesting
Sure.
about that they were reporting that the three people he was interviewing, one was a reporter, admittedly on I think it was at Crave Media, that he's also a bit critical of things, but nonetheless he's a registered reporter. And he had his Twitter canceled, his YouTube. I think he's still on his YouTube, but all his the revenue on. If you got a YouTube channel, you can get revenue through the advertising, but they stopped that.
Yeah,
and some other thing, and then
that happens all the
right,
time. Censor.
and that kind of
Censor
stuff.
all the time.
And then there was a woman who's recently changed over. I think she came out of a knitting group, so kind of innocent background. So she was at that protest, and she's more not in the building, but she's out on the grounds. Have you ever been to Washington D.C.? There's a big mall from the Capitol building where that took place, all the way to the Lincoln Memorial. It's probably over a kilometer long. I've been there a handful of times, and I've been there for demonstrations too. And she's out on the grass or in the common area, and people are singing, and she's saying that. And I've been in Washington D.C. for the inauguration, so sometimes when you got so many people, your cell phone can't connect to the tower because there's so many people talking, right? On the phone or doing data, and then you can't get on. So she was not aware when she was down there that people had broken in the Capitol building, even though she's there, but the Capitol building might be where Spadina is, and she's out in the mall, and you don't know what's going inside, and your phone can't get data link, and you can't go on, you can't be hooked up because there's too many people. And I've been in that situation where your phone won't work, too many people are trying to connect to the cell towers when you got big crowds. It will happen. Happened in Toronto too. It can happen. But I've been in Washington D.C. and so there's like maybe 1 million people. The cell towers can't handle even half those people trying to get on their phone. They're not designed for that capacity. So she didn't know. So she was when she left it later on that she found out about it. But even though she wasn't inside the building, it was way outside. Excuse me. She got banned, I can't remember, by Facebook or Twitter or something, even though she wasn't doing anything. So I'm just wondering because now that's in a situation, the Capitol, and it became very controversial. But even here, people get banned here. I've talked to people here. There's one of the people that's filming, and he's on his 3rd channel to deal with broadcasting because he gets blocked.
Once you have certain amount of people, they cancel you.
Yeah.
They censor.
If you're getting into stuff they don't like. And the interesting thing was what they're trying to raise in that interview on Rubin is that because things are very fresh, so you don't know all the fresh detail. It's not so much the government telling that; it's it's Facebook or Twitter. The corporations are doing it. So I found that very interesting. It's actually a nice day, eh?
Today's beautiful.
Beautiful. The last 3 days, it's been sun out the last 3 days, so it's always nice when the sun's out.
Well, we have like more than a month without sun at all.
Was it that long? Was it over a month? I didn't realize that.
Incredible.
Yeah, I find the sun really makes things better, and also the temperature is not very windy.
Yeah, but
if you dress.
when you're stopping a place like there, my feet was frozen.
Yeah, don't discourage myself. My shoes are like ready; they're not warm for winter. But if I feel getting a bit, then I would just kind of move back and forth, kind of thing, dancing on the spot. But other than that, the rest of me wasn't too bad. And then also you're standing still. Here we're walking, so you get a bit warm walking.
Your bike here today?
Yeah, I brought my bike. I picked up my bike, was repaired. So my friend who does my repairs for the last 5 or 6 years, he had my bike for over a week. So I picked it up today before coming down here. And then I talked to him. I came a bit late today, but that's because I was talking to him and his wife.
So maybe here the people from the line will join us, like last time.
The people from
the line.
The line. What line?
The line. Another organization, the line.
L-I-N-E?
Yeah.
The line? I don't know that.
The line with the government.
Oh yes, okay. With the circle with the line through it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they've been here before. They've been here a few weeks, so you see the stickers around.
Yeah, but at this time, just in this intersection, they usually join us. Well, no, maybe they don't join, but we are. Right. We see each other.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Sometimes I like being close to the music, like the dance. check out the music, Christina.
Okay, see you.
Bring my Bluetooth speaker for Richard.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Like when we were at the Massacre and stuff like So he went up there, and I don't know what he was doing. I just stood over here. I thought, you know what, I'm not going to get involved.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody